guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome to a first of its kind video. I used to do tournament reports quite regularly back in the day. I think the most recent one I did was for YCS Niagara, and I wanted to film another one specifically in this format where I have the face cam involved and also the deck profile layout here. Just because it's like an idea that I've had in my head that I've seen other people do, and I've always wanted to like kind of try that format, and it just was very difficult to set up everything. Like if you could see what I see around me, it's just this is very difficult to set up. So if you enjoy this video, please drop a like, and that'd be greatly appreciated. But I recently went to my locals on Saturday. Now this is not like a first place, just 4-round Swiss tournament. I actually played in 2 local tournaments yesterday, or not yesterday, but the day before yesterday on Saturday. Played in a mega tournament, which basically the difference between that and a regular locals is it's 4 rounds of Swiss with a top 8 cut, then top 4, then the finals. It's like a bigger entry pool and things like that, more competitive feel, I guess. Ended up getting first in that with this list here, and then I played in the following tournament after that, the standard locals, which is just 4 rounds of Swiss and no top cut. And I ended up going 3-0, 4-0 technically. I split with the last person I was supposed to play because we played each other in the finals of the previous tournament, and we didn't feel like having a very die roll dependent rematch. So you could count that as 4-0 technically. So at the end of the day, it was about 12 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh! 11 if you don't count the bye or the split round. And I went 10-2 or 9-2 with this list. I played against a wide variety of stuff. I have it all written down here on my phone, most of the matchups anyways, the more notable ones. So I'll go through the matchups. Also, quick reminder, don't forget to check out Imperium Duelist, provider of these sleeves that I'm using here on the main deck and extra deck and side deck, and also this mat is from Imperium Duelist as well. So link to their site down below, and a discount code you can use to save 10% off your entire order. Help support me in the channel, and if you're buying anything off of TCG Player, don't forget to use my affiliate link to TCG Player down in the description below as well. So round 1 feature match, which I believe you guys have already seen that round 1 feature match, but I played against Orcust. It was a 2-1 win on my part, and went first, ended with the whole board like Avermax, Block Dragon, Sarduja, Fossil and Nat Beast, just completely blew him out. Game 2, I had Lancia for him. Slew him down a bit. He had some back row called by and impermanence, to name a few. Slowed down an already subpar hand, and he just took the game from there. And then game 3, I had another Lancia for him with like another really good board with like Appaloosa, and there's just nothing he can do about it. So that was that round. And then round 2, I played against Salamangreat. Had a really strong game 2, I believe, but lost games 1 and 3 because of the setup that he was able to make with Salamangreat, which you guys know. Still a very viable deck, even without Mirage Daily. Of course, they have Lion Emperor and Horse Prince as good substitutes for that card. And then round 3, I played against Orcust again, rank up Orcust this time. Game 1, I ended up taking it relatively easy because I think I won the die roll and just made the standard board, and that was that. Game 2, he had like the rank up play set, but he couldn't get Dingirsu out on the field without, without it not having a material. So it had a material underneath, and he couldn't use the rank up. And I won like a really good hand, and I still somehow lost that game eventually, just because I just didn't have quite enough pressure to apply, and I feel like I might have misplayed a bit, so I lost that one, unfortunately. And then I lost the next game because he went first, and I went first, and I just didn't open the right hand and everything. And then round 4, I played against regular Pendulum, or Mythical Endymion Pendulum. Game 1, it was an easy sweep. He went first and didn't have much, and then I just OTK'd. And then game 2, he had Necro Valley for me, but I had Twin Twister, so the story tells itself there. And then so that was that was the 4 rounds of Swiss. So I was X2 after 4 rounds. Which like isn't terrible, but like we only had 14 people, I think, or 13, and we were still doing a top 8 cut. So I mean, granted, I snuck into top 8. I was literally number 8, and only 5 other people didn't make it. I know this isn't like a miraculous top or anything like that. I'm just simply sharing what seems like a above average tournament experience, I guess. So that actually I squeezed in just barely into top 8. And then in top 8, I played against the same Salamangreat player that I played in round 3 or round 2, and I won 2-0. It was a pretty fast match. And then it was an OTK on my behalf on game 1, and then game 2 he just scooped because he did not open too well. Top 4, I played against Orcust, 2-0 win there. I think game 1 I ended with Appaloosa with 4 negates, Ding and Nat Beast. By no means was it the full combo, but the Appaloosa with the Ding protection was enough. I can't remember the rest of game 2, but I know it was a blowout. And then the finals, I played against Lunalight rank up. Luckily, I won the die roll, or else if I would have lost the die roll, I probably would have lost the match. But I went first and was able to end on like a somewhat decent combo. And I think I ended like Ding, Nat Beast, or Ding, Nat Beast, like Fossil Dyna and something like that. Like I had like 70 or 80% of the full ending board with this deck, and didn't get quite all the way there. But I think the thing that I think it was just Nat Beast, Ding, and Saryuja, but the Nat Beast put in like so much work against the Lunalight deck that it just like didn't ultimately make a difference, and I ended up taking that game. Game 2, he went first, did like the full combo. I opened like one of my side deck cards, which is Kumungus, but he had an Appaloosa with 2 negates. Appaloosa with 2 negates, a Dweller, and 2 rank up spells set with a Big Eye and a Draglubion. So even if I Kaiju one of them, he still has a rank up into either VFD or Kalyuga. It's just pick your poison at that point. So really nothing I could do there. And then game 3, I went first, ended on Saryuja Beatrice, Saryuja Beatrice, and the Fossil Dyna, which I actually hard drew. It's probably like the only time in the entire tournament I was happy that I hard drew this little guy. But it ended up putting in a lot of work because he had the Dark Ruler no more to start his turn off, and then he went Snack. I hit the Snack, and then he went Chupacabra. I hit the Chupacabra, and ended like Barricade Borg and Zephyros, and just killed the Dyna and passed. And then my Beatrice end phase, I think, sent a Giant Rex, because I also had gotten Droll unlocked the previous turn. That's why my end board was so subpar. But I sent Giant Rex during my turn, and then I had Giant Rex and Scaper engrave and like a Block Dragon, so like I just had so many graveyard resources to like just pummel them the next turn, and ended up taking the win. Won like 130 store credits, so that was pretty cool. And then the following tournament after that, which was just 4 rounds of Swiss, round 1, I played against 60 card Chaos Lightsworn. I won 2-1. I only lost game 1 because I went first. He was making me go first, interestingly enough, even though I comboed him game 2, and he still made me go first game 3, which is really interesting. I guess he really just wanted to try to OTK, and hopefully I wouldn't pull off the board, which I guess I understand. But game 1, that match, the only thing I was able to end on, because my hand was just so weird, is just Appaloosa with 3 negates, and that was really it. And it was not enough because he had like double Bigfoot, BLS, and some other cards and a Gizmek, so I just couldn't do anything. And then round 2, I played against Psyframe. This was a really interesting match. Unfortunately, I did not have it as a feature match, but game 1, I basically do the full combo, and I pass. He sets a few back row, passes it back, and he has the Utopia, or not the Utopia, but the Psyframe Overload Trap to banish my Ding before I attempt to attack for game. So he prevents the inevitable, and then I pass it back to him, and he just scoops because he still can't out the Dyna. Dyna is just such a strong card. Then game 2, he goes first, or he lets me go first again. I normal Rhino Warrior and try to follow up, like I have Gallus and like Wielder in my hand. So like if the Rhino doesn't go through, if he like alphas the Rhino or whatever, like I have a Gallus play, or if he goes for Zeta to clear that, I have like Gallus and Wielder to like try to go into another Cherubini. And continue comboing from there. But like he just like made a Zeta, made an Omega, took like the remaining card out of my hand that I had as an extender, which I think was like a Gigantes. So once the Gigantes was out of my hand, like I just couldn't do anything else. And next turn he made another Zeta, and then he had like 2 Zetas and Omega, and like this just drastically tumbling out of control. So I just scooped it there. And then game 3 was interesting. It grinded out to the point where I had a Saryuja with a co-linked Phoenix. So I had like Saryuja, like I said, Culling Phoenix, and I had to make this really interesting board. And then he had like Phantasme, and then he had the one of Pankratops, which I actually have the one in my side deck that I was siding. Just because it's an Earth, it's good for going second rogue decks and things like that. He has like a Pank, runs over this for some damage, you know, can't destroy a battle, crashes the Phantasme into the Saryuja, then main phase 2 pops the Saryuja, just so he can clear his field to make his frames live. And then I previously had searched the Dyna that previous turn, so I just started my turn, like he has the field spell up, so I just normal the Dyna, and like this is my field, so I just swing. Next turn he has to normal a Skullmeister of all things to run over this, and then he passes, and then like, because I got Lancia too, I think, so my only play was to Fossil Dyna, and then like my Block Dragon was able to resolve the following turn because like he had to put like a Skullmeister on the board just to, you know, not auto lose to the Dyna. And then it just kind of spiraled out of control from there on his behalf, because then I just had a lot of advantage and I cleared his field spell eventually, and it was just game over from there. It was a really good match though. Like, I hate playing against iframes, so I was like really surprised myself that I was able to actually like win. And then round 3, I played against another Orcus deck, which is the same guy I played against round 1 of the first tournament, and I 2-0'd him. Game 2, I had a Curious on board, and I had my opening hand for game 2, like, no joke, was literally this. My opening hand was double Gigantes, Olion, and double Lancia. Like, this was my opening hand in game 2 of that round 4 or round 3. And like, I go first, I like set Olion and just pass, and then like I Lancia him. He just like gets a danger on board and passes, and then like I draw like a Kumungus for turn, and then I pass it back, and then I like throw the other Lancia for another turn, and then I draw a Glow Up Bulb, and he like makes an IP Masquerena with that and like another danger, and then like he has one other card in his hand, so he can do the Unicorn play. But I draw the Kumungus, so I Kumungus over his IP. I normal the Bulb, I believe, and then once Bulb is on the board, I like flip up the O-line, link these two away for a Phoenix, summon the token, and then like summon Bulb, and then I link the Phoenix and the token away into Cerberus, and then with like the Bulb and I think a Gigantes that I had, like I just link into like Curious, and then like he Phantasmes on the Curious, I think, or something. Can't remember exactly. Forgive me if I don't have like the perfect memory. And then like I crash my Curious after also making a BLS link. So my field was like this, and then like I run over something, banish a card, a set card, I think it was Crescendo, crash this into the Phantasme because he boosted it with a Nightmare and made it like 32, and then I crash it, add back the Lancia, and then like just Lancia'd him again, and the third turn in a row made ding, and that was his game. Was not happy that I Lancia'd him 3 turns in a row, but sometimes you just got to do it to him. So those are the matchups. Now I want to talk about shortly here, I don't want this video to be like too terribly long, but I want to just talk about some of the things in the main deck that were new that I was playing, and some of the things that were like, you know, same old, you know, what worked, what didn't work, things like that. So just looking through the main deck, first of all, I think this was a 40 card list, and I wanted to, and then the round 4 was just, I was playing against the same guy I played in the finals, and we just split, we drew, just to the sake of not having to do another die roll intensive matchup, which I was fine with. But like, yeah, the 3 Mathman, also if you guys want the deck list, I've already uploaded a deck profile, so it'll be like up in the top right, if you want to check that out. So if you want to see the deck profile, it's in a video already that I already uploaded, so check that out. Mathman was great, obviously, the second tour guide, and I actually dropped a Rhino Warrior for the other tour guide, because I didn't want to play like all those normal summons, so like I feel like it was fine just dropping the Rhino Warrior down to 1, and I like that just because like you're only ever like using this card to summon off a tour guide to get the Sabers live, just and get an extra Earth Engrave. A lot of people always ask why I don't send Rhino Warrior off of Cherubini, because it's just kind of like, this is basically a second copy of Edgem Sabers that's also an Earth, which is nice. So if I don't need the extra Earths, I'm not going to waste the Rhino Warrior to send the Graph. Like if I desperately need a third Earth, or just an Earth in general to get like a Gigantes on board just to be able to make Saryuja or Appaloosa, whatever it may be, then I'll send the Rhino Warrior and then send Graph. But if I don't, I'm just sending Graph every time, because if you leave this in the deck, you're just leaving yourself another chance to mill your Edgem Sabers, or your Solkius if you're playing that garbage engine. Like, I absolutely hate the Solkius package with Mally. I hate it. I hate it so bad. I tested it on stream last night. I just must have the worst luck in the world. I drew Mally like every opening hand. It was just terrible. I hate it. And then I played, these are the other level 3 extenders that I played. So the new ones that I added were the Leonis and the Gilasaurus. Absolutely clutch. More level 3 Earths is what I needed. Like, this card is live literally at any point in the game. Like, even if you're already giving them a monster, like, if you're going first, in most cases, you're giving them an Ash Blossom, which you really won't ever care about. Because if you give them the Ash Blossom, it's not going to do them a whole lot for their turn. Leonis was great. Every time I drew this off Saryuja with other good extenders, like, it was just free. And then, like, the Saryuja special summons a Glow Bulb, a Dotscaper, a Gizmek, or a Giant Rex. I actually had Saryuja special summon a Gizmek one time, which is pretty funny. Sea Archiver was nice. This card was actually really great because there was like, sometimes where, like, you have a Curious play that you can make, but you already have Glow Bulb. And maybe you already milled, like, your Fossil Dyna to the graveyard. So, like, it forces you have to make the Leviair. And you need, like, a free level 3 to get access to. So, like, a lot of times I would just use Curious to dump this. And then, like, get that other level 3 on board, whether it be Edgem for, like, Gila or Crusading Leonis. And then this would just complete the rank 3. And then you're just fine and okay with banishing your Fossil Dyna for good from the grave, just to bring it back off the Leviair. And I find, like, comboing with using Leviair is, like, a lot, like, easier, because, like, you just can use dangers after you resolve Block Dragon's search effect, because you don't have to worry if you hit the Fossil Dyna out of your hand. And then it, like, gives your opponent, like, that false sense of hope, like, oh, I sniped the Dyna out of his hand, and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna, like, I wanted you to snipe the Dyna. I didn't care if you sniped the Dyna, because I was just gonna banish it off Block Dragon anyways, and, you know, bring it back off of the Leviair. The same BA lineup. This guy playing 1 is a love-hate, because there's been so many times where I've had to plan B into Beatrice Appaloosa, and then, like, I've already milled this card, so it's just kind of like, maybe my opponent thinks I'm playing a second one, but then at that point you're just using it to dump any extra extender and hope you survive that turn. This card, again, it's a love-hate. I sided it out a lot, and every time I did, I'd always open a BA, and then I just want to, like, slap myself, so that was that. The danger lineup with the 1 Nessie, it was fine. I didn't really miss the second Nessie, so, I mean, maybe going forward, like, because I want to go over 40 cards, just to decrease the chances of drawing these guys. I think 43 cards, 44 is, like, a good number to be at for this deck, just to lower the chances of drawing the dangers, or not drawing the dangers, the BAs. So that's something I want to do. So maybe I'll add in, like, just 1 Mothman and call it a day there. Triple Block Dragon was great. Obviously, this engine was just fantastic. You got to play it. The Gizmek was great. A lot of people had some, like, concerns about Gizmek with like banishing your Dyna or whatever, but that should never be an issue, because you're always going to resolve Block Dragon, usually in most cases, before you use this. So you won't ever care that you're going to, like, risk banishing it, because you already got the goods out of the deck, essentially. Then there was these guys. Drew this card a little too much, but it happens again. That's why I want to go up to above 40 cards. The Deshudo was really nice, so like that for sure. Everything else is just standard. Then the 3 spells that I decided to play were Burial, Avarice, 1-for-1. These were great. This especially. This was really good. The 1-for-1, like, this was also going to be a Monster Reborn. I sided this out every game just because, like, it was, like, the least high impact spell. I usually sided this out a lot too, because I didn't want to, like, draw it dead turn 1 and make it, like, lower the chances of, like, doing full combo. I've been testing the Popper Up card a little bit online, But that card is like a really high risk, high reward card, so I don't know if I'll actually commit to playing it. The extra deck, there's really not much to say about the extra deck. The extra deck I think is perfectly fine as is. If anything, I wish I was playing like one generic Link 2 with 2 down arrows, like maybe IP Masquerena. I know there was other, Barkion was another card people were suggesting for more backdoor heavy decks. So I might side a Barkion at some point. I might try to find room for IP and like maybe cutting the BLS Link, but the card is just too damn good to cut. So I think the extra deck is fine. Side deck going forward, there was a lot of Spiral there. I didn't play any of Spiral, which was interesting. Like, I kind of got lucky. But this was the side deck that I went to. It was okay. I never sided the order. I sided these, I sided these, I sided these, I sided these and these, and I think I sided this. I just never sided this. So I think going forward, I think what's going to come out is probably the Dark Rulers in the order for 3 Droll and Lockbird, because I think that's like just a really good hand trap this format. And I think really other than that, that's like the only thing that I would change. But yeah, this is a little tournament report video. Like I said, I kind of want to go above 40 cards and maybe add a Mothman, maybe add another Destrudo. That's really all I can think about, honestly. Maybe, yeah, maybe add another Destrudo, maybe add another Mothman, or maybe add a singular Mothman. But that's really about it. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I usually don't do videos like this. I don't even know if this one will get uploaded. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. And as always, guys, Winter Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one.